Big show coming up on In the Box Seat. We're joined by Garry Youngberry, who's about to tell us all about the weather this weekend and what has happened over the last 6 months here in southeast Queensland.
Plus, we'll preview the double-header, Beaudesert Friday, obviously Gold Coast Saturday, and then looking forward to Hollindale Day coming up very shortly.
Let's get into it. As we said at the top, Garry Youngberry's joining us from Channel 9, the weather team. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, and look, I'm no one's friend on when there's times like this. It's been since Alfred hit the coast. We've had it tough here in southeast Queensland, but all through northern New South Wales. And look, you've got to have broad shoulders to be a weatherman, and I even get it for my own daughter as well. She's had that many race meetings abandoned, and probably another one tomorrow, or being Friday in New South Wales as well, being Willumba. I'm thinking, not looking good there, but it's widespread. It's everywhere.
Is it a bit like race calling that you actually can't predict the winner, but people
want you
bag
to.
you? They say, "Oh, you didn't call my horse winning, so boo you." Does that happen with the weather as well?
Absolutely.
You should have predicted a 28-degree day, Garry. Shame on you.
I've had plenty of concreters want to make me a pair of concrete shoes. They haven't been able to work for the week. But the good thing is with being a weather presenter, it's a bit like a jockey. If you don't do the job perfectly, you still get to come back and you get paid to do it again another day.
Perfect.
That's right. Just take us through the last 6 to 12 months in southeast Queensland. Some of these rainfall totals and also lack of sunshine are quite remarkable.
Well, it is, I suppose, the wet season. We're about to go into the drier season, but look, raining again outside now. But I think there's just so much moisture in the ground, so it's not taking much for a lot of these tracks. We've seen them earlier this morning. Here at the GC, it was like a good 4. I think that went to a soft 6, 7. It's probably an 8 now, and beyond there is still more to come there as well. And it's statewide. I know I've been, even up to Cairns a few times. Innisfail, Mareeba, been to a few of the racetracks recently. Gundawindi getting around, and they've all been soft to heavy every single time without fail. So we've had enough now. I'm doing my best to bring the sunshine.
And obviously we look back at the cyclone, and I had you on radio as well. It was sort of a really traumatic time for everyone in southeast Queensland because we didn't know what to expect. North Queensland had seen a few cyclones hit and miss from years gone by. Of course, you were up there.
I've been there. Yep, I'm Cairns Far North Queensland girl, so I've had my fair share of cyclones. I knew what I was prepared for, but of course a lot of southeast Queensland.
Well, you would know what a cyclone party is.
I do. In
Far North Queensland, they don't stress or worry about a cyclone. But look, there were some very anxious people here in southeast Queensland, and rightly so. Due to the population. Thankfully, it crossed around a Category 1. If it was any more than a 2, there would have been a lot of destruction on the coast, and things would have been a lot worse. So we did get out of it quite well. But look, it doesn't mean that won't happen again. So, we have to be prepared, and rightly so that everyone was anxious because that was their first one that they've ever experienced here in the southeast.
Absolutely.
So the weather for this weekend, of course, we're racing at Beaudesert for the big Anzac Day meeting tomorrow and Gold Coast on Saturday. What's your prediction?
Well,
kind.
Normally, the scenic rim Beaudesert, it's like Tornado Alley for thunderstorms, but because the showers are coming from the coast, I think the heaviest falls will be on the coastal fringe. So there is a chance. There'll be a little bit of a burst later this evening and tomorrow morning. Look, the track will be heavy, there is no doubt, but there will be some further showers there tomorrow. But it will be heavier on the coastal fringe.
So that means really heavy here at the Gold Coast.
Oh, look, today's the day, being Thursday, the burst of showers. There'll still be showers, I think, Friday morning for those getting up for the Anzac service. And a few throughout the day, but not as much as today. I was hoping not because I've got a horse running here. She loves the soft 7 to heavy 8, backlit beauty. She would just be thriving on that. But look, it's definitely going to be a heavy track, if not already.
Now, we might be able to do a deal with you. If you can guarantee a good track for Hollindale, we'll give you a heavy 8 on Saturday in return.
Well, backlit needs the run on Saturday because we were hoping to step her up again. She's been running well to maybe run in the BM78 at the Hollindale as well in 2 weeks' time. But you've got the sort of Polly as a standby.
Absolutely.
Don't normally run her on the Polly, but look, she needs a run there. But I'd be backing her if it's on the on a heavy, but if it's on the Polly, maybe save your money.
Well, we'll do you a deal. Good fall for Hollindale, but you get the money on Saturday. Speaking of Bella, it must be really good. Like you've got a really strong involvement in racing as it is, but Bella to come through and now riding, and she is kicking goals of late too.
She is doing really well. And look, it's a slow process. People forget that she's still 18.
Yeah.
Just about to finish her first year as an apprentice. She went to the Outback. She did a term out there and learned a hell of a lot. I was helping her with the rides initially because, she was travelling for 3 days to Mount Isa in the truck, no phone service. But now she's got a great manager. And I believe no matter how much talent you have, you need a good team around you.
Absolutely.
And, with Ryan Crawford now managing Bella, he's getting her plenty of rides. And I couldn't speak highly enough for Michael Cahill. He is just, the time that he puts in with Bella, away from the track. Friday nights, he's on the phone, they're going through her rides. He's such an asset to Racing Queensland and apprentices here in Queensland. It really is.
I think you'll see the next, the generation that Michael and Chris Whiteley and co have been able to look after. They'll, his dedication towards them, you'll see them shine, bright in the years to come, which is good to see.
Look, the years to come, absolutely. I totally agree. And yes, Chris, of course, he's been a great help. And it's just the way Michael and that I know speaks, the way he deals with Bella, like it's a confidence thing in racing for apprentices. And, it's easy to lose that confidence and takes time to build it. And I just think the way he speaks to the kids and the way he teaches them, it's just priceless.
Now, we do have a next question is... can we get a tip before you go? But I do want to know, what's the oddest moment that you've had on camera while you're doing the weather?
Oh, look, there's been a few times,
Trust me to ask you a question.
If we make a mistake here, we get to have another go. I don't get to have another go. And, I have an earpiece in my ear. And I remember doing the weather nationally, and I was sort of pointing down, talking about Tasmania, and the director, we get time cues, and I said, just keep them brief.
Yeah.
And at the time, she's gone, Gary, you've got 2 minutes to go. Gary, you've got, and I've sort of gone, down in Tasmania, you've got 2 minutes to go. Like this, and I'm sitting there, and, you've got to keep going.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure people at home are watching going, did he just say Tasmania? What's he talking about? So,
Tasmania will be gone in 2 minutes.
Yeah, there's always, there's more mistakes behind the scenes than you realise.
And you've done a lot of filming here at the Gold Coast and the kids in the background, and you often get that sort of thing.
I love being involved. My daughter's taught me everything about horses, She started, we were getting off the track thoroughbreds and retraining them, doing show jumping. Had a little bit leased of property for her to do that. And look, this is how we've gotten into it. I had to drive her. I was at the track here at 3:30 every morning for 9 months because she was on her own. She didn't have a licence when she started here under Al. So I was here most mornings. That's why people don't see me as much now, because I was yawning between the units at night. So, but I love it here. And this now under lights, racing, what a great place to enjoy racing.
So Backlit Beauty will be your tip if we're
if we're running on the turf. She is. Look, I got off the phone to Al Chow, the trainer, only yesterday, and he's just said she's at her best. So she could definitely, and she'll be good odds. She's always double figures, so each way. But if it's on the poly, there was
maybe
another
half your bet.
There was a horse there, I think 4-1.
Yep.
I'd like, if it's on the poly, I like that. Yeah,
Right.
there you go.
Perfect.
Backing against my own horse on the poly.
There you go. We've heard it here first.
Excellent, Gary. Thanks for coming on. Absolute pleasure to have you on the show, and also some good insight about the weekend.
Yep.
When is this rain meant to stop?
Well, look, it's going to continue even into Saturday a bit, unfortunately, but probably June. So about winter, the dry season.
We're looking forward to it. Mark your calendars for June.
I'll mark that down on the. There's a winner. If you heard it here first on In the Box Seat, June it'll stop raining, and we'll contact the Gold Coast Turf Club, and we'll pass the messages on to Gary.
Look, thanks for inviting me on, guys.
Thanks so much, Gary. Cheers.
I watch your program. You might not watch mine every night, but I watch you every week.
No,
guys.
we
I
do.
love it.
That's Gary.
Absolutely, we do.
Gary Youngberry joining us on In the Box Seat. It's time now to take a look at a Hollindale contender, an Antino from the Tony Gollins stable, resuming last weekend in the all-age stakes. He was unplaced, but his run still contained merit. He was boxed up in on the rail, and just when he was starting to improve in between horses late in the race, he was squeezed out of it. Connections were still pretty confident that the run was more than what they wanted to see from him first up at 1,400 metres. Of course, the horse is on a different path this preparation, heading towards the Hollindale Stakes at Weight for Age, and of course the Doomben Cup as well. So he's stepping up in distance. Of course, who can forget his remarkable win in the Toorak during the spring at Caulfield, and one of the great Group 1 rides by Blake Shin.
So it's Antino with Blake Shin. Daring Tactics at the 400. Shows at the whip and went for home. 3 lengths in front of Another Will, followed by Desert Lightning, Magnus Spin, and behind those El Safina. Antino, every poster winner at the 200 metres. 5 lengths in front of Desert Lightning, El Safina, followed by Craig. But it's all Antino. Blake Shin, take a bow from last to first, has bolted in, demolished them. Antino, 6 lengths.
Speaking of Hollindale, you have to be here on track to enjoy all the atmosphere. It's obviously one of our favourite days. It's Gold Coast Day here, and we're looking forward to it. So tickets are still available. Limited tickets remain for hospitality. So the 4X house in the Glass House, $199 per person. Get your tickets for that. That's the last hospitality package is now available. Otherwise, pick up your general admission tickets. There's going to be plenty of entertainment on track. 50-50 charity raffle will be here. Some surprise entertainment on the course proper, which you'll have to stay tuned for.
On the course proper itself?
On the course proper itself. I know we've got some things up our sleeves, and obviously entertainment and GG's after the last, everyone's favourite time of the day. So plenty happening on course. You have to be here to enjoy the day. We're very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's always a great day's racing with all the features, not only the Hollindale, there's the Gold Coast bracelet with the fillies going towards the Oaks, the ATC trophy.
Yep. The silk stocking, plenty of races on the card that we're looking forward to.
I got that name right.
You've done well. You've done well.
A few emails from you when we get there. So as we mentioned at the start of the show, it's a bumper weekend for us here at Aquis Park Gold Coast Turf Club. Of course, we've got the races here on Saturday, but of course, the big special meeting at Beaudesert tomorrow.
Yes, so we've heard it is the biggest day of the Beaudesert social scene. So we're very much looking forward to the Anzac Day races.
We didn't make that up. Someone phoned in.
Someone did phone in and tell us that. So if you are around the Beaudesert area, make sure you get along to the races. You can pick up tickets at the gate, or you can buy them online. All hospitality is now sold out. So if you do want to be there, pick up general admission. We'll have the bugler there. We'll be doing a service. We'll play the last post and have a minute's silence. And we'll have the Light Horse Brigade there as well to lead the horses out ahead of the Diggers Cup. We will also have fashions on the field. So a great day's racing out at Beaudesert. Definitely get out there. Pick up your tickets at gctc.com.au.
Absolutely. One of the days on the calendar, that's for sure. Have you got a winner?
I think I do. I've gone race 6, number 9, Oberoi. I think I said it right.
Princess.
Oberoi Princess. I like the look, good form, so hopefully we can find a winner in that race.
Yeah, it's going for 3 straight. Race 5 for me, number 7, Super Zoom for the Marcus Wilson stable. I think it's just about ready to win and draws the inside gate, and the rain-affected track won't worry it. Race 5, number 7, Super Zoom. While we're hot to trot, Gold Coast Saturday.
Gold Coast. I've gone an Omen bet again. Every time I see one on the card, I just can't not tip it. So I've gone race 1, number 5, Dark Red. I've had some success with my red tips of late, so we're going race 1, number 5, Dark Red.
Oh, you looked long and hard there. Gold Coast race 5, number 5, Carwee was well backed to win at Rockhampton, and they got the lot. It was $5 into 2.10, won by 3 lengths. Finds a winnable race again. Race 5, number 5, Carwee is my selection.
Beautiful.
That's it. Big show. Thanks again to Garry Youngberry for joining us, and that's us.
Takes us away.
Quiet weekend next weekend.
Quiet weekend. We've got Phantom, which I think I need to bring some facts for you next week. I've been told if I don't bring the facts along, I will be fired from the show. So we'll cover the Phantom meeting next week, and then obviously all roads lead to Hollindale Day on May 10th.
We'll catch you then next week.